What took you so long? Now we prove who the fastest driver really is.
Welcome to MojoPlays, and boss fights already offer more significant challenges than your standard enemy, especially when they resort to dirty tricks or just downright cheating to win. Not cool, guys. Not cool.
I haven't done a whole lot of sparring. Is this a no-contact thing?
Full contact, not sparring.
Oh, I'm afraid that's impossible. I didn't bring my pads.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Sephiroth, Kingdom Hearts. It's nice to know that no matter the universe, Sephiroth can still dominate with his godlike powers and still has no qualms with showing off his immense strength. Found in Herc's Coliseum, the fight is made even more challenging by the fact that Sora must go it alone. Not that Donald would have been much help to begin with. Impossibly fast and strong, Sephiroth will absolutely decimate the player with his combo attacks that can easily one-shot or drain your inventory of healing spells before the battle can even truly begin. The game's combat isn't designed to handle an enemy so fast, so you'll be fighting the camera just as much as the man himself. Thank God he's optional. Yellow Devil, Mega Man. The original Mega Man was already notorious for its challenge. From its precision platforming to its boss fights, everything in the game actively works against the Blue Bomber. However, one boss in particular managed to break more controllers than any other, the Yellow Devil. Already a towering behemoth, the Yellow Devil has only one weak spot, and even Luke Skywalker would have trouble nailing it. As if that wasn't bad enough, if you manage to hit his eye, he'll immediately close it and disassemble himself to move across the stage, forcing you to avoid all his bits and pieces in the process. The entire experience is so prolonged and annoying, dedicated fans discovered ways to cheat the boss fight to cheese their way through the encounter entirely. Matriarch, Gears 5.
Wait, it's you think it's mine?
I think so. It sure doesn't like the cold.
The Berserker is hands down one of the most terrifying enemies in the Gears series, so naturally facing one head-on would be a stressful experience. However, this is one of the few encounters outside of General Ram in which the arena is designed in the boss's favor. Incredibly compact, especially for an encounter with an enemy rushing you at full speed, the Matriarch is also completely impervious to damage and charges at any sound she hears. You must not only break the ice under her footing before she can rush you, but then maneuver behind her to attack her only weak spot. On top of this, she's essentially a bullet sponge, meaning it will take multiple attempts to even wear her down. With no checkpoints, the entire encounter ends up being more frustrating than challenging, as one slip-up can easily leave you in chunks and sent back to the start of the fight. Seraphim, Doom Eternal.
Your reckless mission ends now.
Doom Eternal is already regarded as one of the hardest games in the entire Doom franchise, but the DLC is where the series separates the Doomslayers from the mere humans. New enemies with insanely strong abilities are hard enough, but put all those enemies inside an enclosed and constantly transforming arena filled with freaking lasers, and you're asking for a level of precision only reserved for the most elite players. Drop a boss that constantly teleports into the mix, and you'll end up seeing the game over screen more often than your loved ones. The entire encounter is quite literally born from one of the many levels of hell itself, and was initially so difficult it was later patched to make it slightly easier. Only slightly though. There is still an overabundance of gimmicks for the sake of it, and pads out what was already a frustrating encounter even more.
He was my servant. On my command, he removed me from this place.
Bed of Chaos, Dark Souls. The original Dark Souls has more than its fair share of bosses that could be considered unfair. Looking at you, Capper Demon. But we just must give special mention to the Bed of Chaos. To confront the Bed of Chaos, you are dropped, quite literally, into an arena with a boss the size of the room. The glowing markers guide you where to strike, but destroying the first one unleashes the bed's chaos and the room begins falling apart. Alongside dodging the Bed of Chaos's unpredictable slams and swipes, you'll also have to contend with a crumbling floor, leading to numerous instances of cheap, quick deaths as the room also erupts in flames amid constant attacks. What would normally be a typical platforming section for most games, Dark Souls is anything but a precision platformer, leading to many unnecessary and frustrating deaths simply due to the game's own mechanics. Lady Comstock, Bioshock Infinite.
To your mother!
Unlike previous entries, Bioshock Infinite doesn't have a wide selection of boss fights. Instead, it has one, and it sucks. As one of the game's only real supernatural enemies, Lady Comstock has a myriad of tricks up her sleeve to both protect herself and frustrate the player at the same time. Lady Comstock will routinely raise the dead to fight alongside her, overwhelming the player with insurmountable odds and even summon a bulletproof shield to protect herself while her minions wear down your health and your patience. And you don't only need to beat her once. No. That would be too easy. No, you need to beat her 3 times to truly defeat her. All while her army of the undead swarms you and she keeps pulling more and more dirty tricks to completely halt your progress. Great game, awful boss.
What is she?
What am I? My god. Is she the source of my power?
But what is she? Alive or dead?
Nitrous Oxide, Crash Team Racing.
So, you're back, and you've gathered all my time relics. I'm impressed. Well, it's about time I taught you a real lesson in speed. This race is for keeps.
Mario may have hit the gas on kart racers and gaming, but for many fans of the genre, a certain Bandicoot improved on the formula. For starters, Crash Team Racing had an actual story mode tying everything together, and even a bona fide boss race at the game's end. However, even though Nitrous Oxide might have been the instigator of all the racing shenanigans, he certainly doesn't seem to know the rules of the sport. Right at the start of the race, he'll jump the gun and take off before the green light, along with perfect stats and infinite ammo for all the weapons, including the weapons of previous bosses. On top of already demanding perfect precision driving, you also have to consistently evade a non-stop barrage of projectiles that with even a single hit will cost you the race. Damn cheating aliens, he even does it in the remake.
I can't believe you beat me. I never lose. How embarrassing.
Human Kite, South Park, The Fractured Butthole.
And I said, well, why can't we be human kites together? So I went to Aunt Sheila, and I said, I want to be human kites together. And she told him he had to do what I said because I was the guest. Remember
when you were young, there would always be that one kid that would change the rules mid-game just so they wouldn't lose? Yeah, that's what it's like fighting the human kite in South Park, The Fractured Butthole. The human kite will consistently tell the player their turn didn't count, and will routinely heal himself while also randomly making himself completely invulnerable to certain attacks, or making up random powers whenever he feels like it.
I'm not making it up. It's totally canon in my alternate universe.
His claims of alternate universe rules don't fly here, and just makes the entire fight more frustrating the longer it goes on. It's these tactics that makes the human kite an absolute insufferable boss fight, no matter how realistic it really is. Just remember, it's frowned upon, but not illegal to call a kid an asshole. Unalesca, Final Fantasy X.
Well, I will free you before you can drown in your sorrow. It is better for you to die in hope than to live in despair.
Long before Square left the turn-based combat of Final Fantasy behind, we were stuck with no real way to avoid devastating boss attacks that could easily one-shot our party out of nowhere. One of the most notorious uses of this tactic is Unalesca in Final Fantasy X. As is tradition with Final Fantasy bosses, Unalesca has multiple forms, but unlike other bosses, attacks she performs in one form can affect your party in the next. In her second form, she'll cast Zombie, which prevents the use of healing items. But in her third form, she'll cast Megadeath, which kills everyone not affected by Zombie. Considering this is a near endgame boss, you'll likely already be fighting for your life, but under these conditions, Unalesca is even more difficult than the true endgame boss simply because of this tactic alone. And if you die, it's 15 minutes of unskippable cutscenes for you. Silver the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog 06. We have two words for you to perfectly explain the unfair nature of the encounter with Silver the Hedgehog in Sonic 06. Stunlock. As if fighting the broken game itself wasn't already difficult enough, the encounter with Silver will make you break not only your controller, but also the game disc just to never have to deal with him ever again. Not only will Silver constantly spam his telekinetic abilities, which can freeze you in midair, ridding you of all your rings, but his follow-up attack can send you glitching through the numerous walls and buildings in the area, leading to an instant game over. This scummy and cheating tactic not only makes Silver one of the worst bosses in video game history, but also the most unfair, making even defeating him a matter of luck rather than skill. And that's only if you don't quit after the first try. What was the most unfair boss you ever encountered? Share your frustrations in the comments below. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.